Now today we are going to start with another topic from your chapter metals and non-metals. In the previous videos we discussed about the properties of metals, just only about their physical properties. Now here we will discuss about the physical property of non-metals, and you will just note it down the difference between these two. And let's start with first, what are non-metals? A non-metal is a material which do not have the properties of metals, like they are not having the shiny appearance, they are non-malleable, they are non-ductile, they are non-sonorous, and they are the bad conductor of heat and electricity. For example, you might heard about these example: carbon, sulfur, phosphorus. So these are the non-metals. Non-metals materials like coal and sulfur, they are very soft but they are dull in appearance. They can be broken down into powdery mass on tapping with hammer. So these are certain physical properties of non-metals. So let's compare about the physical properties of metals with the non-metals. First property is about the malleability. As you all know that metals are malleable, that it can be beaten into sheet, whereas the non-metals, they are brittle, they are breaking very easily. Ductility, the metals possess the properties of ductility, whereas non-metals are non-ductile. That means they cannot be drawn into thin wires. Next one is electrical conductivity. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, whereas non-metals, they are the poor conductor of heat and electricity. And one thing I want to clear here, that there are some exceptional cases of metals and non-metals, and you have to learn about the exceptional cases, like the graphite. It is a non-metal but it is a good conductor of heat and electricity. So please note down all the things very carefully. Metals, they are having the shiny appearance, whereas the non-metals, they are having the dull appearance, but there are exceptional cases like diamond, iodine. On the basis of hardness, the metals are generally hard, but exceptional cases like sodium and potassium, they are thus soft metals. They can be cut with the knife, whereas the non-metals, they are soft in nature, but there is an exceptional case, the diamond, it is the hardest one. Metals are generally solid, but except mercury, that is a liquid metal. So this is an important question, that name a metal which is found in liquid state at room temperature, that is the mercury. Whereas the non-metals generally gases, except bromine, which is a liquid non-metal. Boron, carbon, sulfur and phosphorus, they are solid one. Melting and boiling point. Metals are generally high melting and boiling point, but exceptional cases sodium and potassium, whereas the non-metals, they are having the low melting and boiling point. So now start discussing, and this is one of the most important thing we are going to start discussing, that is the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. First property is how they are reacting with the oxygen. You are familiar with the phenomena of rusting of iron. For example, the metal, the iron, generally metals are reacted with oxygen and they are forming oxides, and these metallic oxides are basic in nature. And for example, there is a rusting of iron. Iron, when react with oxygen and the water, it is going to form hydrated ferric oxide. So this is called rust. This is hydrated ferric oxide. Next example is copper. It is a metal, and this, if a copper vessel is left open in the presence of moisture, a dull green coating is going to be observed. And the green coating, that is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. This is a basic copper carbonate. So there is a reaction, you have to learn these reactions. Copper, that is Cu, it reacting with the water, carbon dioxide and oxygen, it is going to form a green coating, and this is a basic copper carbonate. Now we can also check that whether the oxides are acidic or basic. Generally metallic oxides, they are basic in nature. You might have heard about or about the checking of acidic or basic substances by using litmus paper or by using the solutions. So here we will find out with the help of this activity that the metallic oxide are acidic or basic. We will check it, and I will share some videos related to this. We are going to check about the nature of rusting. Rusting, that is a metal. In this we have the iron metal, which is going to be rust. So firstly we will collect a spoonful of rust and dissolve it in little amount of water, and the rust remains suspended in water, and shake it very well. And we are going to test this suspension with the help of which litmus paper we are going to use? A red litmus paper. And this red litmus paper is going to turn blue, which will show you that these metallic oxide, that is iron hydrated ferric oxide, it is basic in nature because a red litmus paper turns blue. So the next is about the non-metals. Generally, non-metals also produce oxide when reacted with oxygen, but their oxides are acidic in nature, whereas the metallic oxide, they are basic in nature. And we will also learn about amphoteric oxide later on. Testing the nature of non-metal. Now we have taken a non-metal here, which is a sulfur. Take a small amount of powdered sulfur in a deflagrating spoon and then heat it. I will share the videos of these activity also. As soon as sulfur start burning, introduce the spoon into the glass tumbler and cover it with a lid so that the gas is not going to be escape. Now after some time we are going to remove the spoon, add a small quantity of water into the tumbler and shake the tumbler well. And now here we are going to check the solution with which litmus paper. We can use the red also or the blue one also. So the name of the product which is formed by the reaction of sulfur and oxygen, which gas is released? This question is very important. Which gas is released here? This is SO2, sulfur dioxide. And when sulfur dioxide is dissolved in water, it is forming which acid? Sulfurous acid. And this because non-metals, they are producing the acidic oxide. So metal जो भी हमारे oxides हैं, यहाँ पे जो non-metal के oxide हैं, they are going to be turn blue litmus into red. The blue litmus paper, if you are going to use for the checking here, the sulfurous acid turns blue litmus paper red. So that's why the oxides of non-metals, they are acidic in nature. And which acid is produced here? Sulfurous acid. This is H2SO3. So here, which I have told you, just keep revising all the reaction very carefully and learn about these activities also, and how we can check the acidic nature, basic nature, and the metallic oxide, they are the basic one, whereas the non-metallic oxide, they are the acidic one. Keep revising and stay tuned for more lectures.